Hey Leo, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card out is Page of Swords. Second card out is Temperance. It looks like there's something that you're getting into. Starting off with Page of Swords, especially when we have Temperance next to it. Temperance is about taking your time. It's about not rushing. It's also about not taking action immediately until you feel like it's time, so like don't rush a process. Page of Swords can be you learning about something, exploring something, finding out about something, being like a detective, having a conversation. Whatever it is, it feels like take your time with this part of the process. It's like a discovery process, having Page of Swords and having Temperance in it. And what that means too is that, like, for example, you can be having a conversation with someone, and before you jump the gun, it may be about needing to listen, you know, or it could be, I just heard that information or I observed that, and before I go and like spread that around, I'm gonna think about it, or I'm going to like not be so quick to maybe. Page of Swords can be a bit of like a messenger in that way. If this involves other people, if it's a social setting, for some of you it may not be. For some of you, you can be like learning how to do something, and it's about taking the time to actually do this properly. So rather than cutting corners or something like that, it's about taking the time that it takes to actually learn this and respect the time that the process will take for this to unfold, rather than being like, I should have this done in 3 days, and then 3 days comes and you feel like you need some more time, and you're like, well, I said 3 days, and then you're doing something when it's not time to be doing that. So this is definitely reminding you to really tune into the pace that you feel is appropriate here, and to also give yourself some grace with the time of this too, because Page of Swords is also an environment where there's learning that's happening. So it's like, allow yourself to learn rather than being like, I need to do this by then, you know, or figure this out by then. Like, allow yourself to have your creative process here of figuring this out, of taking everything in, because it's not just like finding the information or finding the examples or finding what you're looking for. It's also about taking that and then integrating that so you can apply it, so then when whatever you're finding this out for, it comes time to use that, you're gonna know how to properly apply that in the way that you want to. And so that's why Temperance is here. It's like, take your time with this. It's important that you do it, and it's important that you do it right as well and not be in a rush. So also know too, if you're putting some type of pressure on yourself, this is your guides being like, take your time. You're in a learning process, and it's going to put more pressure on you to be like, I gotta do this by then, I gotta do it. But it's like, take the time that you need. Just do this in a way that feels balanced. Make sure that you're resting too. I'm seeing that be a key part of this. I know you have a lot going on. I know you have a lot to do, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to tend to. Being engaged, important, yes. Rest is important so you can be present and so you can be engaged. Both of those things are very important, and make sure that you're doing both of them. I feel like this is your guides just being like, this is what you need to be doing right now. That's what this is feeling like just giving direction. I'm seeing you are eventually going to be having a chat with someone. Someone that you care about. Ooh. All right. I'm seeing there be... So you are officially on a path here now. but it's something that you've been working on. You may have needed to be very, very patient with this, but I'm seeing you be super advanced with where you are. But there can be more still. Like I'm seeing you at a level where just like in a vacuum it's very advanced, but if you sort of zoom out a bit, it feels like you're in a period right now of this process, which you can be far along on the grand scheme of the entire process. You can be very, like, I'm seeing you be further than halfway. Like, you're, at least it looks like 75% here. At least. Even just in an energetic type of way. So you're far along with like the zoomed out whole process, but when it comes to like the level that you're at within the process, there may be something new that you are learning or something that's being done, which is then going to add to the rest of like the knowledge or work that you already have. So even though that is like a very already set foundation that you have, because you're very far along. I'm seeing again like a very advanced energy for you, Leo. There's something that you're doing now where it's like it feels like it has to do with what you're doing. It's going to be incorporated into what you're doing, but it can feel like an offshoot of the path. I feel like that's not the right way to describe what I'm seeing. I can't even think of a good example for this. It's like you're in like the 7th grade, and so you have all of the classes up until that point of like information and knowledge that you have, and now you're entering into like the 8th grade or like level 8, and in that moment there's going to be, and on that level there will be new information that's incoming that will be integrated, that's part of the path that you're already on. So you see what I'm saying? It's like you already have a whole basis of that, and this new stuff coming in is just going to be added to what you already are doing. But this feels like a long process is what I'm seeing. Like for some of you it can have to do with like training or something like that, or like your work or what you've been working on, and this is feeling like there's going to be like a new addition to something that will then go into the rest of everything else that you have. And it feels like you have to be mentally present and active. You also have to be resting too, so you can be mentally present and active. It feels like this is definitely what is feeling most relevant for you right now, like what you want to be doing. And Temperance is feeling too like it's a process here that you're involved in. But all of this stuff is useful because it's going to go back into the whole, like the WHOL whole. The name Francis is coming through. I'm seeing the Hierophant. Socializing can be part of this process too, with a Page of Swords. It's like taking in information. So, taking your time with this, sitting with it, processing, getting to the place that you need to be. I wonder too, there may be somebody that you are having a conversation with, or like a message or messages that you're sending that have to do with like how you're feeling, like those types of things, like a transparency. But I'm seeing before doing that, it feels like gathering the information that you need, insight that you need, taking your time with it, grounding your energy so you make sure that you're in a grounded place, and then it looks like the transmission happens at that point. And this feels like just part of the path that you're on right now, that you have been working on for quite some time. I'm seeing the Hierophant here, which is an interesting thing to be seeing. I feel like you're in the process of developing something important to you, like an important aspect of your journey currently. But what's the issue? You having a disagreement with somebody, something going on. I'm seeing Scorpio on the bottom of the deck. I'm also I'm hearing Libra, I'm seeing Sagittarius, and I'm seeing Taurus here in front of me. I feel like somebody's looking at you and disagreeing with something, or they're just feeling a type of way towards you. But what this is sort of feeling like, and you can get guidance. There can be guidance that you get. Having Four of Swords and having the Hierophant feels like before I do something here, I'm going to ground, and there can be like guidance that you get, and then I'm going to communicate. But it looks like you're communicating with someone that you may know is in a bit of a you know, when you have to have a conversation with somebody that may not be like super receptive towards you, or they may have like a problem with you, or there can be a feeling that they're like judging you or criticizing you, something like that. I'm seeing that you communicating with somebody that you're perceiving as being in that space. This can also be a reflection of your own self-judgments as well, too. Even if there is a person involved, it can be like a reflection of where you may be having some feelings towards yourself about some things. So this can also be like I'm talking to this person that I trust and trying to work this part of things out for myself. But I wonder too if, like, for some of you, you can feel like somebody is sort of judging where you are with things while you're in a process where you're trying to figure things out. Like, that can definitely be part of this too, where it's like, I'm just like learning about this stuff and trying to figure it out. And yeah, you can have somebody that you're feeling like is not, like, you're genuine in communicating, because I'm seeing you be Knight of Cups here. So it's like really wearing your heart on your sleeve, grounding before doing so you feel like you're speaking from a clear place, and you can feel like this person, I feel like you're moving towards them to be like, hey, like to share, to communicate, something like that. You can feel like they are, for some reason, like judging you or something like that. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this. It's like they're not, maybe that you feel like they're not able to fully hear you. You can feel like you're speaking to them on one level and they're perceiving you on a different level, and that it's not aligning. You know, like maybe you feel like you're in more of a heartfelt space and they're in more of a cerebral space. You can feel like that type of thing is happening. And you can also feel that happening like within yourself too. Like Knight of Cups can be the part of you that's like, I want to wear my heart on my sleeve and share something, and there can be like a more rational or like intellectual part of yourself that's like, don't say that, you know? Like, don't get emotional with them, or don't let them know how you really feel. You know, it can be a part of you that maybe feels awkward sharing genuinely, like emotionally, where you are with things. If this is not, can be both. Can be another person, can just be you with you, can be both of those things. There can be a feeling of inadequacy here as well for some reason too. That can be part of it. But I get like a bit of a weird vibe. Like you can feel like somebody, the way that they're interacting with you, it doesn't feel like an equal for some reason. And that can, I'm hearing the word judgment. That's what it can feel like. That's what this is seeming like to me. Are they really though? I wonder. Like, is that really something that you're sensing it, obviously, yeah. But are they really, is that like really how they're feeling and where they are with things, or is that just how you're feeling? No. No, this looks like an actual conflict that you're having with someone. I like to err on the side of caution because sometimes it's just us being like, do they hate me or are they judging me? And sometimes that's not the case, but this does look like you're getting into a little something with someone over here. I want to say again, like I'm seeing you actually be in a really genuine space, and I don't know what's going on. Actually, let's clarify. Why is this person interacting with you like this? What's going on with them? It's one of those moments where you're being really genuine with someone and you can feel like they're just not hearing that or not open to that, like that type of thing. But for some of you, there may be like an offset of power with you and this person. That can just be them perceiving that, or something along the lines of that going on. That can potentially be part of this. What's going on with this Five of Swords? This is looking like a defense mechanism. So Five of Swords, right, can be like not hearing another person, having your heart shut down, so like not really able to like sympathize with another person. Five of Swords can be seen as doing things that like others perceive as potentially being selfish, like that type of thing. And also not really working together. It can be kind of like a lone wolf energy, but from a place of fear. What I'm seeing is we have the Five of Swords here, and what's clarifying it is Nine of Swords. And so this person's defense mechanism is to maybe be outwardly like critical or judgmental or like not receptive. But on the inside, having Nine of Swords is like, this is somebody that feels scared, they can feel worried, they can feel concerned. That doesn't excuse it, it's just explaining sort of where they are with things. But there may be like some stuff that they're worried about. And also, what can be happening with this person too is that before you judge them, even if you weren't going to in the first place, they may want to do it to you first to keep them safe, like that type of thing. So even though you could have been coming through and been very genuine with them, they can be like worried that you'll judge them, and so they're sort of taking that step first, like in an offensive play here in your direction, instead of having to be on the defense. And then they could feel like they already sort of lost, because it feels like that's sort of the game that they're perceiving, or like the way that they're framing this. But really, I'm just seeing them be like scared about things and worried about things. They may have some social anxiety, or they may have some type of concern over something going on socially, something that will be happening socially. This can be like a gathering or a get-together, something like that. I'm seeing Aquarius on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, somebody may feel insecure in social setting. It can be something along the lines of that. Insecure or worried about something. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's just like a lot of thoughts that are being focused on something. It can be like an event or something like that. So yeah, you know too, sometimes when people get stressed out, they get kind of mean. It can be that type of thing as well that's happening, but it's coming from a place of concern or worry, and somebody may be feeling a bit fragile or overwhelmed. Again, not to excuse this, but just to explain, to not forget the humanity behind the behavior. They can be like a bit indirect with this though, the way that they interact with you. It may not be like totally in your face how this is done. What is the point of this? I mean, on your end of things, I'm just seeing your guides be like, don't react to this. Like, make sure that you're in a grounded space when you're communicating with this person. Like, take your time. Make sure you get all the facts too. That also being an important aspect of this. Because I feel like you're at a point where you're working on like being the best that you can be. The way that I'm seeing this Hierophant come out is feeling like you're working on doing things in a way that feels congruent with your values. Apparently, like in this type of social setting, especially right now, that's sort of where it's being applied. And you can have somebody looking at you and feeling a type of way about that. You know, like maybe it seems like it's just bringing up their own stuff, but from a place of insecurity. And if this is your energy, that's where something can be coming from. You can be looking at somebody that if you're the Five of Swords in this situation, you can be looking at somebody that you perceive as being in some type of high position and having that feeling like a sense of defensiveness towards that. It can feel like there's some type of disparity. As I said before, it can feel like there's some type of unequal ground here. Not that there is, but that can be the perception of things. Like that somebody's like higher than another person or something like that. Having to do with the Hierophant. So this can be like somebody being more educated. It can be somebody being more certified. It can be somebody having a certain title. It can be other people looking up to someone. It's something like that. That Hierophant can be somebody that sort of stands out in that way, that other people like look to that person because they like help or guide or something like that. And Five of Swords can be like this insecure vibe looking at that and being like, you know, like maybe that's something I want for myself, like that type of thing. But then it can come off as like not treating that person well because of seeing them even unconsciously as a representation of what somebody isn't doing for themselves and like where they aren't but where they want to be. And so it's like a reminder of like I'm not stepping into my power in that way. And so when I look at you, you're a reminder of that, and I'm feeling triggered. Even if all they're knowing is that they're feeling triggered, they may not know what's behind it. Having Two of Swords feels like needing to see that and to understand that. It's funny too because I really am getting the sense of this, like now that we're coming to this point, that there may be looking at something and feeling triggered by it, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like, oh, there's a part of me that wants to step into my light in that way, in a way that would be similar to that, and that's actually a calling even of mine. So that can be something that's happening to Leo. Or somebody can be looking at you and this is what they're going through. You'll know for you. But for those of you that you're identified with the Five of Swords, this person that you may, I'm hearing remarkable, this person that you may feel this type of way towards, it's actually telling you that you would be happy pursuing something similar to what they're pursuing. And that it can be like a gateway to that. Like an indication that may be something, can be a vocational thing too with the Hierophant that you may be interested in. Something that you'd like to sort of mix into your life. Can be. Make sure that you're resting and grounding when you need to be. And this feels like bringing about more of a sense of awareness, especially around your triggers, because there's a lot more behind it that can be picked up from this. Keep doing what you're doing. Be patient with the process. And express yourself in alignment with your values. Some of you, I wonder if you're like giving advice to someone or guidance. Like the way that I'm seeing Hierophant and Knight of Cups, it feels like remembering remembering sort of this position that you're in, or like this role that you're playing, and making sure that you're communicating in a way that is aligned with that. And Hierophant is a role too that has a sense of responsibility as well, and that can also be part of this too. Like, there's something you have going on in your life where there's a particular role that you play, and there's a particular way to do that, and to make sure that when you're expressing yourself, it is aligned with that. It feels even like a duty or a responsibility that you have for the position that you're in, like that sort of thing. But it can be something that you're still like in the process of figuring out, like how that functions and how to apply it. But that's part of just the path that you're on currently, and you finding your way in this way, and a lot of patience that's needed as you continue building. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.